Hey everyone, I'm back today with another video. This one's probably going to be a long one, you can tell. I've got a lot I want to say. Um, before I get into it, I do want to say that I am probably not going to continue with the one video every single day. Really, I'm just going to be going to a schedule of I'm going to post a video when I think there's something worth talking about. So if you get a notification from me, either you're getting the notification that one of my Sudoku videos is posted from the previous night's stream, or it means that I have something that I actually do think is worth saying in Raid. And today what I want to talk about is the arena. Obviously, it's been the subject of discussion for a very long time now. There's people that have a lot of issues with it, wondering like how can it be fixed. There's something Plarium did very recently, and I want to talk about whether or not I think that will fix it. But first of all, I want to take a step back, and we really need to understand how the arena works, not how it works from when you go in and you're using your champions and what are the best comps and stuff like that, but mechanically from just thinking about how the content itself works. How do you progress through arena? Like, what does it do on a weekly basis? How do you get points? Stuff like that. So let's just really quickly go into the arena, and we'll look at classic arena first. Every time you fight, you're going to, if you look at the top of your list, these are the players that are lower points in overall in the points that you're looking at. So at the bottom of my list is 1,500 points, top of my list is 1,300 points. So the lower they are, the less points you get from a win, and the more points you lose from a loss. But how it is if I were to win and gain 7 points, that means they lose 7 points. So the same amount of points is won and lost, and that's important. So like if we just refresh this and look at it, again, the lowest here is 8, the highest is 12. So down here, if I were to lose this, I would lose less points than I would lose from a matchup there. Now, that's all, fine and good, but what do the points actually do? And that's where we look at these tiers. So a lot of games, like you'll have some sort of like, you just get a set number of points and you go from one tier to the next, your points all reset and you need to collect up to there. How it works here in Raid is really there's just a base number of points period that you start with, and once you get to certain milestones, you're in a certain tier. So that means as you move up, you're going to be starting from 900, you get to 1,000, you're in bronze 2. When you eventually get to 1,600, you're in silver 3. And when you get to 2,600, you're in gold 3. So that's how it kind of works. Like just gaining points, the only way you're doing it is winning. There's 2 ways, however, that you lose points. So you lose points when you lose a battle, either on offense or on defense, obviously. But the other thing is at the end of the week, whatever tier you are in, you drop down to the lowest point value of that tier. So if I had, say, 1,795 points, if I drop down to the bottom of silver 3, there have been 200 points removed from the system effectively. Approximately, obviously, but 200 points. Now, that doesn't seem too bad, right? Because, like, okay, well, there's going to be people that are really close to the floor, and then, be spread out throughout. Not that big of a deal. It is more of a deal up here, because there could be a lot of points that end up being lost. Because, right now, we're only, a few days into the week, and it's already that you need 3,300 points just to get into Platinum. So that means that anyone that's in Platinum is going to drop down to 2,900 at the end of the week. So that's a lot of points lost. What we haven't talked about is how do points get added. The only way that points get added is if someone is at 900 or, would drop below 900 and lose a game. That's the only way points get added. So that means, if we just think about it really carefully for just a quick second, it's an obvious result. If there are more people that are losing points at the end of the week from dropping down, then there are new players playing at the very bottom of bronze 1. More and more points are going to be removed from the system every week. Now, the reason that that is a problem is if there's less and less points in the system, that means there are less points to support a large population in Gold 4. So if there's less points available, it's going to be harder and harder to be in Gold 4 because there's less points available to split amongst people. which means some of them are going to be pushed down into Gold 3. Similarly, there's going to be less points over time because we're losing a lot over week if there's less new players and more people in the higher ranks. They're going to drop down, and there's going to be some in 3. And eventually, this is going to keep happening. We're going to lose points every week until we get to some sort of equilibrium that there's enough new players down here gaining points to make up for all the points that are being lost up here. But before that happens, this tier is going to be getting much harder. This tier is going to be getting much harder. And it's eventually going to propagate all the way down because there are that many less points to be able to spread out amongst the population. So now you want to ask yourself, does it seem like that is something that has happened in the past few months? Has it gotten harder in gold and then started to spread its way down to the other ranks? And anecdotally to me, and from other people I've talked to, the answer is yes. I know that in my main account, I was able to, probably 2 months ago now, was when I first jumped into Gold 1, and I was able to just kind of mess around with my team and get all the way up to Gold 3 and be messing around in here fairly easily. In that time, I've gotten a lot better gear. I've switched out a couple of champions. My overall team is much better, and I'm currently struggling to make sure that I get all of my wins every day in Gold 1. So it's obviously getting harder in here, and I've made significant improvements to my team. Similarly on this account, before I got Soulless, my team was kind of stagnating in Bronze 3 and Bronze 4. Like, I got to Bronze 3 and Bronze 4 very, very early on in this account. Less than 3 weeks I was farming in Bronze 3 and Bronze 4 very, very easily. Before I got Soulless, which was probably about a month ago now, I was struggling to get enough wins in the top of Bronze 3 to be able to even stay in Bronze 4. And my champions were still improving and my gear was still improving. And that was happening to me then. So, like I said, anecdotally, I am seeing that it's getting more difficult. And if it is true that there aren't a lot of new players joining the game or sticking around to make up for all of the points that are being lost in here, that's the outcome we would expect. So I am led to believe that that is why Arena has gotten more difficult. Now, what does that actually mean for the system, right? Because if we believe that it being much more difficult is a problem, how would we fix that? And there's going to always be a lot of different potential fixes for a problem. And if you're a company like Plarium, your goal is to fix the problem as quickly and easily as possible that also costs you the least amount of money as possible. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to somehow either completely revamp how Arena works, or what we can do is artificially add points back into the system. So if we could somehow just add some points back into the system, especially at these lower ranks, these ranks will be easier for people to move up a little bit, and it'll eventually be pushing more and more points into the system so that these ranks can support more players. And if these can support more players, if say the population in Gold 4 doubles, that makes Gold 3, 2, and 1 easier places to be and farm. So now why do I bring up how do we artificially add points to the system? Well, something we have now seen for the last few days, and I say we because I've seen it on my account as well, in the free-to-play account in Silver 1, there have been lots and lots of players, and if you've been on Reddit, you've seen all of these, that are getting entire sets of their arena freshes that look like this. There's only a few teams that they have to see. They're obviously very, very easy teams. They're very, very low level accounts. Level 24 and level 26. They simply have not played enough to get into Silver 1. The account simply is not old enough. You can get to these levels within a day and a half. Like this is not something that's hard to do. So these are very, very clearly not actually players that their defense should be showing up here. These are accounts or teams that Plarium is throwing into the system to give out free points, because giving out free points fixes the problem we were just talking about. Now, will it fix it immediately? No, right? Because the points still have to filter all the way up. So this is more of a depending on how you want to define short, middle, and long term, I would argue this is probably like more of a middle term solution, right? Like this isn't going to fix Gold Arena in the next few days or even week, most likely. In fact, it is very possible that at the very high end, adding more points to the system is going to make Platinum Arena even more difficult and require you to be going much harder earlier in the week. Now, my response to that, since I am like the average player that's nowhere near capable of trying to push into Platinum Arena, both because I don't have the champs or the gear, and I'm just unwilling to spend the amount of money that would go with that, it means that me, like the average player, doesn't care that Platinum Arena is going to get harder, right? Like, doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. So if this does do what I think it will, is within the next few weeks, we will see that gold, especially earlier in gold, silver, and definitely bronze are going to be easier because there are going to be a lot more points in the system if these sorts of things happen. And this isn't the only thing that's happening either. So let me close that one. We're also seeing, like, we're getting regular full refresh lists, and sometimes there's a handful of teams that look like this. Again, notice this is Silver 1. These are not the levels of account levels that can show up in Silver 1. They just haven't existed long enough at that player level to get these champions and be doing arena and be getting gear to make it work. You can also just tell, like, the champions that they have here wouldn't be able to get into Bronze 4 as it was, as of a few days ago. So, and even the argument that's, okay, well, maybe these are just people's defenses to give out free points. Well, they're still not even level 30. That's not enough experience to get a single 6-star champion. So we know that these teams have been artificially added to the system. So, like I said, I do think relatively soon, if this continues, most of the problems that the average player faces in Arena will be fixed. Bronze Arena will be much easier because there's a lot more points and people that honestly, their teams are cohesive, they have decent gear, they're all 6-star, ascended with masteries, they're going to be pushed up into silver. There's going to be people that are in silver now that are going to be pushed up into gold. So overall, Arena is going to be easier simply because there are more points in the system, and it's the magnitude of those points that determines what level you are in the arena. So if there's more points overall in the system, there's more people that can be in gold 4. If this, stops and we go back to losing points every week, then gold 4 will start shrinking again. However, I do think that Plarium, in general, they know what's actually going on with their game. They know what the problems are. The problem is a lot of the issues have complicated fixes. They came up with a very, very convenient fix for this particular issue, and I'm actually incredibly happy with it because it's not going to be a negative play experience for any person, and it doesn't cost anyone any money. It just makes the newer player experience better, and while making mid and later game players their experience better as well. So I don't want to make this last too long because I feel like it has gone on a little bit, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out and explain what was actually going on with Arena, why I think it was happening, how the Arena works, what's going on now, and why I think it'll fix it, if not in the very immediate term, in the medium term, if we're looking at a longer time horizon. So thanks for watching. I do stream every day, Monday through Thursday, starting at 6 p.m. Central Time, so an hour before the daily reset. This particular week, on Friday, it is the 25th. I will be doing a stream as well to make up for the fact that I didn't stream last night on Tuesday. And on my Friday stream, I will be opening shards on my main account, my free-to-play account. Just talking about my free-to-play account, I have a few shards that I'll be opening just to get enough points to summon the Fragment Champion. And then any of my viewers that want shards open, I'll be opening them as well. So that'll be a few hours on Friday night, starting at my normal time. And that is at twitch.tv/cluelesseconomist. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you live.